his observation that imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited, but imagination encircles the whole world. Here we are today to celebrate this seamless integrated twinning of imagination and knowledge through the fabric of academic, donning the robe of creativity.
This scientific basis is the foundation of Iclp, Integrated Creative Learning Program. It's a unique in-house program specially designed for grade 8 that provides opportunities to the students to apply and synthesize their learning of scholastic and co-scholastic subjects. It's a perfect model of an art integration and application-based learning with beautiful integration and balance of scholastic and co-scholastic domains.
Let us start our journey on a pious note, rendering our gratitude to the Almighty for bestowing us with all the bounties through the ceremonial lighting of the lamp.
Let us now join our hands, close our eyes and bow our heads in reverence of God and pray that the divine light shows us the way.
Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Ya Kundendu Tusharhar Dhavala Ya Shubhravastravrita Ya Veena Varadanda Manditakara Ya Shveta Padmasana Ya Brahmachuta Shankara Prabhutibhi Devai Sada Vandita Samapatu Saraswati Bhagavati Nishesha Jadyapaha.
ICLP, Integrated Creative Learning Program, a creative learning zone where the scholastic topics are integrated with co-scholastic subjects like literature and art, music and dance, music and science, music and maths, maths and art, maths and dance, language and theatre, IT and science, and many more. and these are then brought together for the students to get involved in the understanding of the concepts followed by their application in real life. We actually saw books come to life through these presentations.
Integrating shadow theatre along with the dance of the mathematical concepts, or be it music weaved in a physics concept of sound. May it be returning a famous play from English literature in the form of songs. Iclp has it all, which is being creatively crafted for us.
Just like the torch of learning shines bright for us on the platform of Iclp, so does our inspiration, which we derive from our respected mentors at school. I would now request our respected headmistress Shalini ma'am to please address us and the audience.
Respected senior members of the school management, respected and very dear principal ma'am, dear parents, grandparents, all the members of the GDGPS 48 family, and especially dear GOENKAs, we extend a very warm welcome to each one of you on this special day as our dear GOENKAs, the trailblazers of Middle Wing GDGPS 48, present 10 art integrated learning presentations on a virtual platform, setting a new benchmark and creating a new page in the history of our school. Let us have a huge round of applause for the dynamic, enthusiastic, spirited, joyous learners of GOENKA Public School Sector 48. These young Goenkans are not only excelling in academics but also in all forms of visual and performing arts, in the field of technology, creativity and innovation, as well as in all skills. We are indeed proud of these leaders in the making who believe in action and are truly the trendsetters. They dream big and then work hard to make their dreams a reality. Though our dear Goenkans always lead and fly high, but they always stay connected to their roots, the Indian culture and humanistic values. As John Quincy Adams said, and I quote, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, become more, you are a leader." Goenkans are truly the leaders, the trailblazers. While the world grappled with COVID challenges and fears, the Goenkans went full force, discovering newer arenas of learning and grabbing every opportunity to walk on a new path and leave a trail for others to follow. I request all Goenkans to join me and clap loudly for self and others. Thank you everyone. Right from quickly adapting to the online learning mode to participating in skill enhancement program, Center of Excellence program, PBL projects, SPE classes, LEAP program, R3 week, 4E plan, attempting online exams successfully to following the art integrated learning even on the virtual platform. The Goenkans have utilized each moment even during the phase of pandemic, learning and growing. Today, they are presenting 10 AIL presentations based on second term syllabus with 100% participation. The entire middle wing classes 3 to 8, each and every child is participating. Well, before we make the presentation, I would like everyone to understand a little more about art integrated learning. What is art integrated learning? Art integrated learning, that is AIL, is a teaching learning model which is based on learning through the arts and with the arts. It is a process where art becomes the medium of teaching learning, a key to understanding concepts within any subject of the curriculum. Learners explore creatively while building connections between different concepts through various art forms. At GDGPS 48, we have been following this experiential learning and art integrated learning approach as a pedagogy for the last 7 years. Be it ICLP or reminiscence, be it osmosis or synergy, co-op or research-based projects, STEM or class weeks. Our efforts have always been towards making the journey of learning a joyous experience for our dear Goenkans, giving them ample opportunities and platforms for presenting and sharing their learning. Our school management, right from the year of inception of the school, brought up the studios and sports field with as much care as the labs and the classrooms. That is the beauty of our school, that we have specially designed areas for all forms of art and sports, and our children just love visiting these areas daily. I would like to highlight here that we have the labs and the studios on the same floor, and even classrooms, MP hall and auditorium are all interconnected. All programs of our school are planned and structured, keeping in mind the holistic development of each Goenkan. Our guiding force, pedagogical leader and school principal, Mrs. Anuradha Handa. Let's hear it for her. She's a passionate educator, art lover and a true visionary. She has not only led each plan and program of the school, but has also ensured that experiential learning and art integrated approach becomes a part of the school culture. She makes sure that the team is trained regularly and training sessions conducted on an ongoing basis to keep the team updated about the latest in the field of education. In fact, I take great pride in sharing this, that as a school leader, not only has she been training all of us and motivating her own team, but she has also been training teachers from other schools. As a CBSE resource person, she conducted teacher training sessions on art integrated learning, cooperative learning, experiential learning based on COPE cycle, magic of gratitude, and career counseling during the year. These training sessions were attended by educators from all around the country. I would like all of you to watch few glimpses of her sessions. I'm sure you'll love them.
School is one place where you have a toddler walking in, an adult walking out. 14 years in school. And do you think these 14 years, they can actually make you or break you as a person? So, what is it? How do we, what is the role of a teacher in a school environment so that the children are well prepared to not commit a mistake, make a mistake, but learn from a mistake.
How important peer relations are. I'm sure we all know. We all know as educators, we all know as parents, we all know as siblings, we all know as individuals, the value of peers, the importance of peers. So through this presentation today, I shall try and, dwell into the importance of peer relationship at different stages of the journey of school life. When you carry gratitude for what you have, it brings in you are an optimistic person. Now, this term dependent origination, it's very, very interesting. Are we capable of independent existence on this earth in our life? we are all dependent on each other. We are interconnected. We draw from each other, whether it is nature, whether it is physical, whether it is human, whether it is environmental. We are all dependent. So like I said, having a sunny day in winters, valuing, suddenly when the life came to a standstill with all of us entering into a pandemic and realizing that how interdependent we are for our needs, for our interactions, for our happiness. So, when those realizations come your way, then you are, then you carry that gratitude for those little things, and you value the relationships more. The relationship that you carry with the people around you, your family, your neighborhood, the people who are providing us support in our life. The very good thing about experiential learning is that, because when you look at the 4 stages of the COPE cycle, actually the children are reflecting. First, they are getting the experience, but experiential learning begins with experience. It doesn't end with experience. I think that's what we have to understand. Because if we just leave it at the stage of experience, then the experiential learning will never be complete. So, definition of art, of course, we're just visiting it because we need to be clear with it, that art is the creative expression of an individual. Art forms, verbal, written, visual, dance, enactment, music, culinary. You can use any of these art forms, all of it, brings the best out from different people, in different ways. That's the beauty of art. So this is what is the importance of art. It makes interactions so comfortable and effortless, something that just comes naturally to you is very appealing. It immediately, reaches out to the children. So art is effortless expression. It is a natural expression. Now, what are the enablers of AIL, Art Integrated Learning? What are its objectives, and what all does it enable the children with? Art Integrated Learning inculcates creativity, because creativity is art, and art is creativity. So when you're using art as a tool to teach something, you are naturally inculcating creativity into children. Started to celebrate the STEM week and the class week. So the thought has been that we want the boundaries of subjects to be broken. The steps that we take when we are planning the project, we are connecting the content with the base theme and planning the AIL activities in advance. All subject teachers work together on creating the transdisciplinary project, pre-planned all the activities. Time plan of 2 months was firmed up for the same.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure after listening to what ma'am was sharing and watching these videos, you must be feeling inspired to do something creative today. Well, we'll surely give you an opportunity to do that, but before that, let us watch the Art Integrated Learning presentation by the Trailblazers of GDGPS 48. Please do keep in mind that this presentation that you are just going to watch is just one out of the 10 presentations prepared by the GOENKAs of classes 3 to 8 and is based on second term syllabus, prepared completely on the virtual platform, and have all the students participating, performing, presenting, collaborating and working together. While working on these topics and AIL presentations, the children have learned more about our country, India, as highlighted in NEP 2022 and the partner states Haryana and Telangana as part of the program titled Ek Bharat, Shresht Bharat. I would like everyone to wait for a Google form link for the parents and an interesting task that will be shared for Goenkans after the presentation. All the best to dear Goenkans. Let's hear it for all of them. Let's clap loudly. All the best Goenkans. Let's go ahead and watch the presentation. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We continue to scale new heights under your able guidance.
ICLP boosts integrated learning on a multi-level pyramid, and just as we explore the horizon of our academic subjects much more creatively, we also learn about integration beyond the textbook. Our awareness about the environment and general knowledge has increased leaps and bounds, and this we can vouch for as we have been extensively learning, exploring, comparing and contrasting the essence of the states of Haryana and Telangana. Here is a glimpse.
एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत।
Language becomes expression. Art speaks freedom. Science creates magic. Music gives way to feelings. Mathematics solves mysteries. And dance provides therapy.
We, the students of Class A, will now present before you a culmination of all our collective learning in the ICLP classes throughout this session of 2020 to 2021. We hope that you all enjoyed as much as we did.
We will begin with the unison of the expertise from the fields of academics and performing arts, where the knowledge and learning of each of them are shared.
Beautiful, isn't it?
What are you doing?
Oh, I was just trying to demonstrate the coexistence of music with science and maths.
Now take a cue from this. Let's welcome our next two teams who are ready with their performance. Let the magic of the merger of music with science and math create magic.
Alfred Mercier must have been observing a student like us when he said, "What we learn with pleasure, we never forget." every essence of this insightful view rings so true. A little swagger, a little sway. Learning through creative channels definitely goes a long way. Greetings and a very warm welcome to you by the students of grade 8 to the world of MMS.
I'm excited and curious in equal measures. But you must be wondering, what exactly is MMS? Is it music masti or shararat?
You are partly right, and we're near to the nucleus of the meaning of MMS. MMS means math, music, and science. And today, let us venture into the unique bond between maths and music.
Someone has rightly said, there is geometry in the humming of the strings, there is music in the spacing of the spheres.
So true. MMS, music, maths and science, is an interesting and innovative way of learning through Iclp. So why wait? Let us musically glide forward into the world of numbers.
Oswald Veblen wrote in the year 1924 that mathematics is one of the essential emanations of the human spirit, a thing to be valued in and for itself, like art or poetry. This for sure holds water. But what exactly can be the connection between two absolutely different concepts of math and music?
The great musician Beethoven, who was deaf for the most part of his life, is one of the prime examples of this interesting connection of MMS. Listen to his famous piece Moonlight Sonata playing in the background. His music gained divinity only because of his deep understanding of the science behind the instruments and the maths involved in the keynotes.
Wow, what an amazing piece of information! But I would like to understand how math is connected to music in more depth.
Without much ado, I would like to invite my friend Ishan to explain you the connection of MMS wonders.
Well, the connection between the math and music is quite a simple but interesting one. Music involves creating of patterns, whereas math involves study of patterns.
Probably the closest connection between music and math is that they both use patterns.
Researchers found out that popular pieces of music have definite mathematical structures that are less evident in others. These patterns appeal to our innate desire for mathematical rhythm and patterns.
The best examples of patterns in music can be seen in the pentatonic scales. Today I am going to be playing two pentatonic scales, the G minor pentatonic and the A minor pentatonic. But while I am playing both of them, I want you all to closely watch the way my left hand will move on the fretboard. After that, we're going to talk in more detail how patterns are really involved in this. So first the G minor pentatonic, and now the A minor pentatonic. You might have noticed that my fingers were moving in the exact same pattern in both the scales, but they were sounding completely different. So this is how patterns are involved in music.
I was wondering if the sounds we hear in nature are also music.
Our emotions are profoundly tied to musical sounds, while we also have a deeply rooted emotional connection with nature. The music of the natural world provided a foundation with crucial aspects, making our evaluation with both music and nature innate. For example, the music of the falling rain, the buzzing of a bumblebee, the beautiful rustling of leaves, etc.
You know, a few days ago I was reading about fractions. And since we are saying that math and music are connected, and since fractions are also part of mathematics, are they somehow connected to music too?
Oh yes, of course. Fractions are part of a whole, such as a pie, or a square, or a whole anything. In music, many notes are fractions of the whole note, and are distinguished based on the length of time that they are played. A whole note is a certain length of time, a half note is half the length of time, and so on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3,
4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and...
Please allow me to engage you in another trivia. Pythagoras, the Greek mathematician and philosopher, discovered that different sounds can be made up using different weights and vibrations.
Interesting! Another trivia about MMS. Then what happened? I am now intrigued. Please tell me more.
Sure. So, this led to the discovery that the pitch of a vibrating string, such as on a violin, guitar, or a piano, can be controlled by its length. The shorter or thinner the string, the higher the pitch, and the longer or thicker the string, the lower the pitch.
The two strings that I played had the same note, but you might have noticed that the pitch was different. This is because of the difference between the thickness of these two strings. The link between the physical practice of music and mathematical abilities can be seen in studies that show that children who play an instrument can perform more complex arithmetical operations as compared to those who do not play an instrument.
Hey guys, did you know that the Fibonacci sequence also has the Pascal's triangle as a part of it?
In mathematics, Pascal's triangle is a triangular array of binomial coefficients. It has similar patterns as seen in square numbers.
She sells seashells on the seashore.
Tongue twisters. Those are my favorite. Did you know that tongue twisters also have tails?
You'll be surprised to know that this tongue twister is set in Data Tal in Indian classical music. It has 6 beats in it. First I will show you in numbers, then in bold. First in numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Now in bold. Dha, di, na, dha, ti, na. Now let me explain your Hindi one. क्या आप लोग मेरे साथ बोलना चाहेंगे? चंदू के चाचा ने चंदू की चाची को चांदनी चौक में चांदनी रात में चांदी की चम्मच से चटनी चटाई. You'll be surprised to know that this tongue twister is set in ek tal in Indian classical music. First I will show you in numbers, then in bold, and once more with tongue twister. Let's start. First in numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now in bold. Din din dhage tirke tuna kata dhage tirke dina. Now with the tongue twister. चंदू के चाचा ने चंदू की चाची को चांदनी चौक में चांदनी रात में चांदी की चम्मच से चटनी चटाई.
Steve Winwood must have been as intrigued just like us. As he said, music is a science. In many ways, it is mathematical. Academic subject like math can be simplified with the beats and tals of music, which leave such imprints which are difficult to forget. I shall never have a math phobia ever now. Music is my savior. And how would I excel in science even more? Let us move ahead and learn more.
If I were not a physicist, I'd probably be a musician. I often think in music. I often daydream in music. I see my life in terms of music.
World without music is unimaginable. Can you imagine the chirping of birds, ticking of a clock, and pattering of raindrops against our window, and even our breath has rhythm to it?
Oh, yes, rightly says Siona. Music is indeed the essence of life. Everything that has a rhythm has music. And no better than sound as a medium of expression for music. It's a universal language spoken around the globe.
In the stars tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light, shining through the city with a little funk and soul. I'm lighting up like dynamite. Whoa, whoa. Have you ever listened to a song that made you tear up? Or have you ever moved your feet to a beat without even thinking about it? Or maybe ever belted a song into an imaginary microphone while an invisible audience cheered you upon? Our lives are filled with music, and every beat and lyric touches us, some for the good and some for the bad.
Sound is a vibration that propagates through a wave, through transmission mediums such as liquid, gas, and solid.
In human physiology and psychology, sound is the reception of such waves and their perception by the brain. Sound is a form of energy which produces the sensation of hearing. It is produced when the air molecules vibrate in a particular pattern which forms waves.
Vibrations can be described as back and forth, to and fro motion of an object. Sound cannot be produced without any vibration. This to and fro motion of an object about its mean position is also called oscillation.
Now, let's see a demonstration to see how does this happen. For this, we have a very unique object with us, the slinky. When we hold a slinky from both the ends, stretch the slinky and give a push to it. If we push and pull the slinky alternatively, we see there are regions where the coil comes together, are called compressions, and the regions where the coil moves apart are called rarefactions. The waves that travel in such a wave are called longitudinal waves. A sound wave is a longitudinal wave consisting of areas of high and low pressure called compression and rarefactions respectively.
There are three main characteristics of sound. First, loudness. Second, pitch. And third, timbre.
Hey Sienna, listen, I learned a new song. I hop up a plane at LAX with the dreams in my cardigan. Welcome to land of fame successful. Am I gonna fit in?
Yeah, you are so soft. Speak a little loud.
A little louder? I think this is fine. I hopped off the plane at LAX with the dreams in my cardigan. Welcome to land of fame successful. Am I gonna fit in?
No, Nitya, you are so loud. There is too much loudness in your voice.
Oh, Sienna, I'm not understanding. Can you explain me what is loudness?
Loudness describes the perception of energy of sound. The higher the amplitude, the higher the loudness. And it is measured in decibels.
Pitch, it is the degree of highness or lowness. Pitch depends upon the voice box. Now you might be wondering why women have a shrill voice as compared to men. I'll tell you, this is because women have shorter vocal cords.
We would now like to present the difference in pitch of a male's voice and a female's voice through a song.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Do, re, la, so, fa, mi, re, do.
What is timbre or tone? Well, timbre or tone is the distinguishing character which differentiates one sound from the other, despite the fact that they might be playing at the same frequency or amplitude. In other words, timbre or tone is the subtle difference between two sounds.
bowls containing water which produce melodious sounds when struck upon by a stick.
The idea behind the working is that striking the edge of the pot produces a vibration in which it travels through water, making it vibrate as well. The speed of the vibration depends upon the intensity in which the vessel was struck and thus determines the sound produced. According to the water level in each ceramic bowl, the pitch varies.
Let's now watch a short movie to see the Jal Tarang. As we come to an end of our presentation, we would like to showcase a performance by a group on the song Believer by Imagine Dragons. I hope you enjoy it. And it communicates a myriad of emotions and feelings. It connects people all over the world with its universal appeal, and it has the power to unite people, make them feel at peace and make them feel understood.
Wow, what an amazing presentation. It is really fun to learn through activities, to see books come to life.
Agni, while you were busy watching the presentation, see, I just completed my art.
That is so creative. Art is a line around our thoughts. Art and math go together like peanut butter and jelly. You just have to know where to look and be a little bit creative. While at first glance, the integration of math and art may seem like trying to mix oil and water, there are many useful ways in which we can integrate these two subjects.
Joanna Lehrer said, and I quote, "Every brilliant experiment, like every great work of art, starts with an act of imagination. Both artists and scientists work in a systematic but creative way. Knowledge and understanding are built up through a series of labs and pieces of art. Integrating science and art can provide students with the latitude to think, discover, and make connections."
And now, the groups which are coming next have been so beautifully been able to discover the coexistence of art with science and maths.
Learning is the outcome of an activity, and it is also developed via activity. Among activities which we perform, quite often are mathematical games. If such games are performed according to the rules satisfying certain didactical goals, they are called didactical games in the educational process. These games include various geometrical puzzles. Among them is an old Chinese puzzle called tangram.
From the educational point of view, tangram assists in teaching geometry by developing geometrical knowledge, reasoning, and geometrical imagination.
Tangram puzzles were originated in Imperial China during the Tang Dynasty. They were popular during World War I and have become the most dissection puzzle in the world.
Tangram helps us to learn to recognize and identify geometric shapes. We also become confident in understanding geometry and how geometric shapes can be decomposed and recomposed into many new shapes. Second, it builds visual spatial skills as we learn how to manipulate the shapes.
You will be amazed to know that the tangrams are not only limited to maths, but they are an integral part of storytelling and are known as tangram tales. So let's watch a story related to one of the myths of tangrams, in which we have created the images of different characters using tangrams.
A 7-year-old boy got a small mirror as a gift from his mother. The mirror weighed 10 grams only. He liked it so much that he used to carry it everywhere. It was his favorite one. One day, while playing with it, the mirror fell and broke down into pieces. Caesar was sad and unhappy. He tried to fix the mirror. While doing so, he created different figures.
Caesar's mother saw him playing with the broken mirror pieces. Caesar decided to hide his mistake and told his mother that he had created an art piece using the broken mirror pieces, and he named it Tangram.
His mother was so fascinated by her son's creation that she started talking about it with everyone in the village. The young boys and girls of the village were so attracted to it that they started playing with the tangrams, and this is how tangram became popular.
Wow, it was an amazing story presentation using tangrams. I'll never forget quadrilateral shapes in my life now. I wish we could use them in history also.
Tathastu, your wish is granted.
What are you saying? Can I really use them in history?
Yes, of course. Do you remember our history chapter, the making of the national movement?
How can I forget it? The famous salt satyagraha. But I can't imagine to use tangrams in it.
So for that, let's watch our next presentation, which is the story of Dandi March, in which we have created the characters using tangrams.
Starting in 1835, when the provinces in India increasingly came under British rule, the British imposed a tax on Indian salt and a series of salt laws. Anyone who produced or sold salt in India outside of the British could be imprisoned for 6 months. Gandhiji organized a salt march from the Gandhi Ashram in Ahmedabad to the seaside village of Dandi in the south of Gujarat. It started on 12th of March 1930 with Gandhiji and 78 other people. At the end of the march, Gandhiji picked up some grains of salt from the seashore and took a pledge. Following the salt march, 80,000 Indians along with Gandhiji were jailed. Gandhiji's salt march got wide news coverage. Eventually, the British administration invited Gandhiji to London to discuss reforms in India.
I could never believe that we can integrate art form tangram to learn math shapes or any topic of social science in such an interesting and creative way. This makes our learning enriching and engaging.
Creative Smart 2 group is going to present a beautiful tableau of one small component of ICLP where art is integrated with sciences, that is through art medium science concept is learned. So how well did it go for you on this project?
Thank you, Mr. Mohak. It went really well, and also I would like to take you through a beautiful integration of art with science. The goal remains the same in learning science, but the ways to achieve that aim is changing.
We have 3 cycles in this program. In first cycle, we did art activity. So now let us all watch this art activity.
This provides concrete experience to me and all my groupmates where we actually observed and recorded that when we were rotating that thermotop at a faster speed, we are able to see both drawings on the same side of the paper. That is, the complete image on the same side of the paper.
In the second cycle, we tried to inquire about this observation where how we are able to perceive both images on the same side of the paper. With the help of our teachers, we finally came to the conclusion that it is a phenomena of the eye called the persistence of vision, where the image lasts at the back of the eye for about 1/16 of a second.
Persistence of vision, POV. Persistence of vision can also be understood to mean the same as flicker fusion. The effect that vision seems to persist continuously when the light that enters the eyes is interrupted with short and regular intervals. Here in the above example, you can see that these images were taken by still cameras, but the horse appears to be running smoothly even though we are just actually looking at the 16 still frames being shown in rapid succession. So this tells us when multiple images appear in fast enough succession, the brain blends them into a single persist moving image.
As we have learned so much about what actually is POV, but do we know about its foundation back in the days? Famous physicist Peter Mark Roget described it as an eye defect first ever in the 19th century.
So, let me take you to another example which we can observe in our daily life. Think of a ceiling fan. You can't tell how many arms it has when it's spinning at its highest speed. But once it stops, it's clear that there are several arms.
Phantasmoscope, seeing individual images at a high speed, creates the illusion of motion. Joseph Plato's invention of the phantasmoscope shows us this.
How does a phantasmoscope work? A phantasmoscope consisted of two discs mounted on the same axis. The first disc had slots around the edge and the second contained drawings of successive action drawn around the disc in concentric circles.
Here are some beautiful examples of how the phantasmoscope works.
The term persistence of vision or POV display has been used for LED display devices that compose images by displaying one spatial portion at a time in rapid succession.
From what we just learned about persistence of vision, the flipbook is a great example of it. In a flipbook, there are drawings on each page that consist of successive actions. These pages are flipped so fast that it is faster than a brain registers it. This appears in a moving form. And did you know animated movies are made the same way?
Early animation. In 1834, William George Horner created a similar motion picture projector, putting the drawings inside of a drum that turned in a circular fashion. This was one of the biggest innovations that laid the foundation of projecting film. Horner originally named it Zoetrope.
In the end that all of us joined this project very usually and drawn drawings on sheet and rotated them very fast. In doing so, we observed and understood the concept of persistence of vision. It was indeed very joyful learning.
Thank you, friends. It was indeed a wonderful learning experience. The artist is not a special kind of person. Rather, each person is a special kind of artist. So now, let's watch yet another stellar performance under Books Come to Life, which brilliantly merges science and theatre.
Theatre is about challenging how we think and encouraging us to fantasize a world we aspire to, said William Dafoe. Shadow play is the oldest form of storytelling. It was originated from India, China, Indonesia and Turkey. Remember how we used to in our childhood make shadows with our friends, with our siblings and our cousins. Many a times in the dark, we used to use our hands, a flashlight and a wall to create shadows. Our next team will demonstrate our learning of how shadows are created with a blend of science and theatre.
Theatre helps us to emote feelings of literature. Both theatre and literature always shared many similar ideas. Theatre has a natural way of building social bonds between people, and this social aspect of theatre is key to its power to unite groups and build a sense of identity in a community.
So, here comes our literature and theatre and science groups with their presentations.
Good
morning, respected teachers, parents, and my dear friends. We have created a shadow theatre play. In this shadow theatre, we related science into theatre. In this play, we have learned the following points about the concept of light and shadow. We have learned how a shadow gets created, light travels in a straight line. We have also learned rectilinear propagation of light, lateral inversion, law of reflection, characteristics of the shadow image. The angle of the light source determines the length and shape of the shadow. The proximity of the object creating the shadow to the light source determines the relative size of the shadow. We are going to explain all the points during this story of nativity of Jesus.
Creating ICLP presentations is one of the most fun things to do in our school, especially creating puppets.
अरे ये क्या कर रही है? Behind the scenes? अरे behind से आगे से रिकॉर्ड कर ले. Behind पीछे पीछे के scenes होते हैं. आगे जाओ आगे जाओ.
8:01 p.m. Thousands of years later.
That day, some shepherds were out in the fields and were watching the sheep. Bah! Bah! What is that? People have cried.
One eternity later.
That night, some shepherds were out in the fields and were watching the sheep. Bah! Bah! What is that? Don't worry, I'm here to bring you good news for all the people. Peter Parker married.
Making the puppets for the shadow theatre, managing them on their own during the recording of the scene, and then managing the screen of my shadow theatre, getting confused over where to set it up. Man, it was crazy work. I almost lost my mind.
So I not only learned about light and reflection, I even learned how to make puppets and the art of puppetry. It was a great experience. I really enjoyed it.
My experience for the shadow play was amazing and yet a little crazy. So we had a lot of fun trying to do the shadow play which we had never done before, and I personally thought that doing it online would be really hard, to cooperate with each other.
Find the lines, but not the half, but we managed to do it. But to everyone was taking the same lines, so we had to change them again and again. But it was a fun and interesting learning session, and
So grab your snacks, hold on to your seat, and get ready to see our puppetry show.
The story of Jesus Christ.
Once upon a time, in a village named Nazareth,
Mary, you will be blessed with a baby boy. But how this is possible? I'm not even married. The baby you will be blessed with will be a blessing from God. Oh, really? Yes, Mary. Then the fairy exits.
Joseph and Mary started to travel towards Bethlehem. It took them days and nights to reach Bethlehem, and they finally reached. They were looking for a place to stay for the night, but they couldn't find any. Finally, Joseph saw a hotel nearby and went there to ask if there is a room available. Is there a room available for us for a night? No.
Shadows are made by blocking light. Light rays travel from a source in straight lines. If an opaque or a solid object gets in the way, it stops light rays from traveling through it. This results in an area of darkness appearing behind the object. This dark area is called a shadow.
Oh Joseph, I'm very tired. Can we please spend the night at the inn for tonight? Sure, my dear. I see an inn over there. We can spend the night over there. Hello, kind sir. Do you have availability of rooms for tonight? I'm sorry, sir, but there are no rooms available at this hour. No problem. Thank you for your time. Joseph, I can't travel anymore. Just a little bit more, my dear. Look, Mary, I see a barn over there. We can spend the night over there. Sure, Joseph. Hurry.
The closer an object is to the light source, the larger the shadow it casts. This is because an object closer to the source will block a larger area of light, increasing its shadow size. We can show the correct shape of detailing by keeping side angles. Keeping side angles help us to show the actions and expressions clearly from forming a correct shadow. You have to keep distance between two objects or bodies, otherwise the shadow will merge.
All the hotels were full, but after searching for a suitable place for Mary to rest, they found a stable. Is this the place where we will spend our night?
Don't worry, Mary. I will make the stable a suitable place to stay for the night.
Baby Jesus is born. My baby, the creator of the whole world, the King of Kings, the one who will save the world.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive the King. Let every heart prepare Him room. And heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing.
That night, some shepherds were out in their fields and were watching their sheep.
What is that?
Don't be afraid. We are here to bring you good news for all the people. Tonight in Bethlehem, a baby has been born. He is the one who will save the world.
We must tell everyone about this and go to see the baby that the angels are talking about.
The shepherds fell to their knees and were happy that they had found baby Jesus. And now they told everyone about this good news.
Oh, we have reached the holy place. Oh, here's our new king. We bought gifts for him. Oh, thank you. May God.
Then, one day, 3 kingsmen of Judea were traveling across the desert. Suddenly, a magical star shone brightly above them. Hey, look at that star. That's not an ordinary star. I think it's trying to convey a message to us. Joy to the world, kingsmen, for a savior is born. He will be the new king of Judea as he grows up. The new king of Judea? We must tell this to King Herod. The 3 kingsmen followed the magical star all the way back to Judea and tell King Herod about everything the magical star told them. Yes, your majesty, and the star said that the boy child will be the new king of Judea as he grows up. I am the only rightful king of Judea, and no one has the right to sit on his throne. Find him, my kingsmen. Find him and kill him. The 3 kingsmen follow the king's orders, and go in search of the boy child to kill him.
On that night, an angel appeared in Joseph's dream and told him that his baby is not safe there. Go back to Nazareth.
Oh, Mary! We have to leave immediately. This was the story of the Lord Jesus.
The sizes and dimensions varies by keeping the object near or far from the light source. In this scene, in the starting, we kept the cutout of a Jesus Christ far from the light source and then slowly brought it close to the light source to show the big size.
In this scene, we have written the alphabets in the opposite direction to create its shadow. This is the process of lateral inversion. In lateral inversion, we write the word in the opposite direction to create its shadow.
Now, I would like to invite my co-team. The way we have culminated our shadow theatre work, it is through our dedication and hard work that even in this virtual platform, we have created a benchmark of making this concept of physics easy, and through our practical learning, the concept will be in our mind throughout our life.
साहित्य और रंग एक ही सिक्के के दो पहलू। चाहे मनुष्य कितनी भी प्रगति कर ले, वह इंसानी दुनिया के वजूद, उसके सुख दुख, उसकी स्मृतियां हमेशा रंगमंच से टकराती रहेंगी। साहित्य को रंगमंच की और रंगमंच को साहित्य की जरूरत हमेशा बनी रहेगी। दोनों एक दूसरे की तरह अधूरे हैं।
ICLP ने हमें वह मंच प्रदान किया जहां हम अपनी पाठ्य पुस्तक अथवा उसके अतिरिक्त पढ़ाए गए साहित्य को रंगमंच पर जीवंत कर सके। चाहे कामतना द्वारा रचित लाख की चूड़ियां हो या अन्नपूर्णानंद वर्मा की अकबरी लोटा, रंगमंच के तत्व जैसे चेहरे के हाव भाव, आवाज का उतार चढ़ाव, आत्मविश्वास, संवाद, भाषा की शुद्धता आदि तत्वों को कहानी के साथ जोड़ते ही वह कहानी दृष्टिपटल पर स्पष्ट रूप से अंकित हो उठी।
आज हम आपके सामने हमारी हिंदी की पाठ्य पुस्तक वसंत के एक पाठ कामचोर, जो इस्मत चुगताई द्वारा रचित है, इसे रंगमंच के तत्वों के साथ जोड़ते हुए प्रस्तुत करेंगे। उम्मीद करते हैं कि आपको भी साहित्य और रंगमंच का ये गठजोड़ आत्मविभोर करते हैं।
और साथ में नाटक को प्रस्तुत करने के लिए हमें किन किन चीजों से गुजरना पड़ा, पहले हम आपको उससे रूबरू करवाते हैं।
अरे ऐसे ना थोड़ी तुमसे काम कराएंगे, तुम्हें अपने काम
बस अब बहुत हुआ।
अम्मी थोड़ा पानी पिला दीजिए। अम्मी
तो ये देख के तो आप समझ ही गए होंगे कि आज के हमारे नाटक का विषय क्या है। हाँ, कामचोर। तो आइए देखिए आगे क्या होता है।
अरे ये मोटे मोटे किस काम के, इन्हें अपना काम खुद करना आना चाहिए।
ये करेंगे काम, ये तो हिलकर पानी तक नहीं पीते।
अब से ऐसा नहीं चलेगा, आज से नौकरों की छुट्टी। अब से ये बच्चे काम करेंगे, ना कि आराम।
ओहो अम्मी अबू, क्या आप सच में इन नौकरियों के बजाय हमसे काम कराएंगे?
ऐसे ही ना थोड़ी तुमसे काम कराएंगे, तुम लोगों को काम के पैसे भी मिलेंगे।
बच्चे पैसों की बात सुनते ही लालच में पड़ गए और काम करने को तो तुरंत तैयार हो गए। बच्चों की पलटन मैली दरी की ओर चल पड़ी।
अरे खास खास के गला छिल गया। इतनी धूल कहाँ से आई? मेरा घर।
दरी साफ करना तो इनके बस में नहीं था, पर चलिए देखते हैं कि ये बच्चे पौधों में पानी देने में कामयाब होते हैं या नहीं।
मुझे पानी तो भरने दो। अरे मुझे भी पानी भरने दो ना।
इन बच्चों से पौधों में पानी तक ना दिया गया, पर इन्होंने हार न मानी। अब उन्होंने ठान ली कि वे भेड़ों को खाना देंगे।
अरे इन भीड़ों को तो कोई रोको, ये तरकारी वाली की सारी सब्जियां खा जाएंगी।
इन भीड़ ने तो मेरी पूरे दिन की कमाई बर्बाद कर दी। मैं अपने बच्चों को क्या खिलाऊंगी?
बस अब बहुत हुआ। या तो बच्चा राज कायम कर लो या तुम मुझे ही रख लो, वरना मैं चली मायके।
अब तुम लोगों ने अगर हिलकर पानी भी पिया ना, तो तुम लोगों को रात का खाना नहीं मिलेगा।
ये देखिए, बच्चों की कामचोरी से घर तहस नहस हो गया। तो इससे हम यह समझे कि हमें अपना काम खुद करना आना चाहिए। पर क्या आपको लगता है कि अम्मी अब्बू ने बच्चों को पहले से काम ना सिखाकर एकदम काम बोलकर ठीक किया, या फिर सारी गलती बच्चों की ही थी? Helping our parents in basic household chores like watering plants, folding clothes, dusting and cleaning, cooking, doing laundry and other forms of work that have been showcased in our play is something that we all have learned in this long period of lockdown.
वाह, इस सफर में बहुत मजा आया। हमने सोचा ही नहीं था कि हम मेकअप, कॉस्ट्यूम, प्रॉप्स को अपने पाठ में इस्तेमाल करके इतना अच्छा नाटक प्रस्तुत कर पाएंगे। साथ ही साथ हमें अपना पाठ कामचोर इतनी आसानी से याद हो जाएगा।
Wow, that was amazing! But what is theatre without the spice of rhythm and beat? As they say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. And in Iclp, we step forward through dance to imbibe the concepts of math and literature.
A dance choreography follows the rules of math. Dancers must constantly be counting their steps in order to keep time with the music and the emotions of literature, symmetry, movements, angles, etc. There are n number of characteristics which I can keep on saying. So, we will now move on to our last segment wherein the students will demonstrate learning of the coexistence of each of these.
How sweet the moonlight sleeps upon his back. Here we will sit and let the sound of music creep in our ears, soft stillness, and the night become the touches of the sweet harmony.
Such beautiful lines from the Shakespeare play The Merchant of Venice, Eliza. But you know what? I have a problem memorizing them and even memorizing the whole plot. So I have been wondering how to make this understanding permanent so I too enjoy reading as you do.
Let me hold your hand, Nathan, and accompany you towards the destination called ICLP, where you shall not only remember what you have learned, but will also thoroughly enjoy what you will learn. Good morning, everyone. Today we, the students of class 8D, will present before you an ICLP presentation based on the play The Merchant of Venice, written by William Shakespeare.
Sir Ken Robinson said, creativity is now as important in education as literacy. ICLP is a unique GOENKA endeavor which enables us to explore our academic chapters through the medium of creative learning and thinking beyond the box.
Everything in the universe has a rhythm. Everything dances. Dance and literature have been the two tools since ages innumerable, which communicate ideas and emotions. They are effective tools of storytelling and are the most effective mediums of communication. So let's step forward and meet the Merchant of Venice through the kaleidoscope of ICLP, where we have narrated the story through the medium of movement and dance.
I, William Shakespeare, have written several plays, and in this play, there's a murder conspiracy of Antonio, who is the villain of the play. Ends up with Portia, a very beautiful and intelligent lady, and Bassanio, a good friend of Antonio, joining together. So first of all, I would like you all to meet my characters.
I, Antonio, the merchant, loyal in my faith for Bassanio, will hate the Jews till my last breath, though in my heart is full of kindness in its depth. Forever am indebted to Lady Portia for saving me from Shylock's trap, for she saved my pound of flesh, deserves a clap.
I could laugh and justice before my instincts, and everything to me is bound by mystery and boundaries. I went forth dressed as Dr. Balthazar,
and won the case for Antonio against the sly Shylock like a breeze. Quick wit and intelligence defines me. As people say, may I never give up upon loyalty, justice, and friendship is what I pray.
I, Bassanio, a lively, handsome, and a vain young man, dependent, carefree, and confident to Antonio. I am loyal and flinch, not for being daring. I shall lay my life in the lane of fire for my friends, as I am caring. My heart beats for Portia, and there is no second to my wish. I shy not for.
I pledged to roar and rose. Cruelty was the way I chose. I was a victim and became the villain. Killed every day by the people's hatred. Lived every day with another sin's strength. Called myself the chief of Venice. And the chief of sufferers become the chief of sinners. But after I lost everything, I found life full of pain and becomes insane. Filled with gravely guilt after seeing the mess I built. I pondered love could be a better way. But now, the chief of sinners become the sufferers of his own sins.
In the rich, prosperous town of Venice, there lived two close friends, Antonio and Bassanio. Antonio was a rich merchant who had a kind, noble personality and would lend money without interest to other people so that they would not have to borrow money from the corrupt, miserly Jewish lender and Antonio's enemy, Shylock. Shylock disliked him as he used to spit on him and called him a dog.
Bassanio is a good-natured clerk who often asked Antonio for money. Bassanio falls in love with Portia, a rich, smart and beautiful heiress of Belmont. But he, of course, has no money to woo her.
All the glitters is not gold. Often have you heard that told? Many a man his life hath sold, but my outside to behold, glad it tomb's own in fold.
3 months went by, and Antonio was not able to return 3,000 ducats of Shylock, since his ships have been lost in the sea. Shylock enforces him to cut into a pound of flesh, as per the contract Antonio had signed.
Pound of flesh which I demand of him is rarely bought. It's mine and I will have it.
The story ended in court, where Portia came as defendant Antonio's lawyer. She changed her look and introduced herself as Dr. Balthazar to the Duke.
Dr. Balthazar implored Shylock to be merciful. But the hard-hearted Shylock tears it down in a manner so dreadful. Portia's heart beats as Dr. Balthazar, and she strains the quality of mercy.
The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes.
Shylock roars, "My deeds upon my head, I crave the law, the penalty and forfeit of my bond." Tempers rise, and so does the cry for justice. Dr. Balthazar appeals and offers to Shylock a pound of flesh to be by him cut off. Near is the merchant's heart. Be merciful. Take thrice thy money. Bid me tear the bond.
Justice is delivered. Shylock is entangled. He must forfeit all and be gone, regretting his chance at cornering the forgiving Antonio.
A humiliated, fallen man, he returns. Justice and peace prevail at last.
Dear parents, you must be wondering how dance and mathematics are related to each other. But these two have common links such as counting steps or noticing shapes. Dancers use their arms and legs to form various shapes and angles. The topic constants and variables can be well understood through this form of art. Dance looks beautiful when arms and leg movements are coordinated. In this, the arm movements are constant, whereas the speed of leg movements keeps on changing.
Now, let's see a small dance performance in which we have used various angles of dance.
त्रिशा, मुझे ना समझ नहीं आ रहा है ये एंगल्स कैसे बनाने हैं, एक बार फिर से बताना.
Don't worry, Purva. I can easily teach you these steps. I have a very smart idea. Remember, we learned about angles in our maths class? So that's what we have to do. Use angles in our dance. So for the first step, we can do the 90-degree angle, and moving further, we can have the 45-degree angle or the 60-degree angle. When you use these angles, all steps will be so easy and clear for you. Dance can be easily done when understood with the help of maths.
26 नवंबर 2008 को मुंबई पर आतंकियों ने हमला बोला।
तुम हो कौन? मैं वो हूं जो आज बस और ट्रेन में चढ़ने से डरता है। मैं वो हूं जो काम पर जाता है तो उसकी बीवी को लगता है जंग पे जा रहा है, पता नहीं लौटेगा या नहीं। हर 2 घंटे बाद फोन करती है कि चाय पी के नहीं, खाना खाया कि नहीं। दरअसल वो ये जानना चाहती है कि मैं जिंदा हूं या नहीं। मैं वो हूं जो कभी बरसात में फंसता है, कभी ब्लास्ट में। मैं वो हूं जो किसी के हाथ में तस्बीह देख के शक करता है, और मैं वो भी हूं जो आजकल दाढ़ी बढ़ाने और टोपी पहनने से घबराता है। बिजनेस के लिए दुकान खरीदता है तो सोचता है दुकान का नाम क्या रखूं, कहीं दंगे में मेरा नाम देख के मेरी दुकान न जला दें। झगड़ा किसी का भी हो, बेवजह मरता मैं ही हूं। भीड़ तो देखी होगी ना आपने, भीड़ में से कोई एक शक्ल चुन लीजिए, मैं वो हूं। आई एम जस्ट द स्टूपिड कॉमन मैन। गलती हमारी है, हम लोग बहुत जल्दी यूज्ड टू हो जाते हैं। एक ऐसा हादसा होता है तो चैनल बदल बदल के सारा माजरा देख लिया, एसएमएस किया, फोन किया, शुक्र मनाया कि हम लोग बच गए, और फिर हम उस सिचुएशन से लड़ने के बजाय उसके साथ एडजस्ट करना शुरू कर देते हैं। पर हमारी भी मजबूरी है ना, हमें घर चलाना होता है साहब, इसीलिए हम सरकार चुनते हैं कि वो मुल्क चलाए। एक आदमी गुनहगार है या नहीं इसको साबित करने के लिए आपको 10 साल लग जाते हैं। आपको नहीं लगता कि ये आपकी काबिलियत पर सवाल है? ये सारा नाटक बंद होना चाहिए। दिस होल ब्लडी सिस्टम इज फ्लॉड। आप जैसे लोग इन कीड़ों का सफाया नहीं करेंगे तो हमें झाड़ू उठानी होगी। लेकिन क्या है, उससे हमारी इस सिविलाइज्ड सोसाइटी का बैलेंस बिगड़ जाएगा। लेकिन क्या करें? मुझे यकीन है कि जो ट्रेन ब्लास्ट हुए वो सिर्फ एक टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटी नहीं थी, वो एक बहुत बड़ा सवाल था। और वो सवाल ये था कि भाई हम तो तुम्हें इसी तरह मारेंगे, तुम क्या कर लोगे? यस, दे आस्क्ड अस दिस क्वेश्चन on a Friday, repeated it on Tuesday. I'm just replying on Wednesday.
Hope you got our message of standing together and united against terrorism through our presentation. When it comes to maths, angles are a very important topic. But in dance too, angles are equally as important. They form shapes with the body and give us a variety in how we use direction, leading to more complex forms of making meaning. Using dance to learn about angles presents us with different ways of looking at the body. So in the dance performance you just saw, we used various angles like 90 degree, 120 degree or 45 degree.
While learning through Iclp, we really made many memories.
As we come to an end of our presentation, we the students of class 8 would like to thank our dear Principal Ma'am for introducing such a unique, integrated, creative learning program in our curriculum. Thank you ma'am for making this a joyful journey of learning for all of us.
A pessimist complains about the wind, an optimist tries to change it, and a leader adjusts the sails. The sails for this particular notion were adjusted by a person who not only gave great motivation to all of us, but a person who also gave us the belief to bring together this presentation. She is none other than our headmistress ma'am, Shalini ma'am. I invite ma'am to now give the vote of thanks.
Let us have a huge round of applause for these amazing Goenkans. Proud of you. Thank you, dear Goenkans, for making it all possible. Yes, we did it. I can't thank you enough. You are magicians. You are my stars. You're true champions. And how can I not have lots of stars for my stars? Love you all. Yes, let's clap loudly. 3 cheers for Goenkans. Hip hip, hooray. Hip hip, hooray. Hip hip, hooray. 3 cheers for GDGPS 48 family. Hip hip, hooray. Hip hip, hooray. Hip hip, hooray. I can hear you. You're all with me. Wonderful. Like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our senior members of the school management. Honorable Mr. T.R. Garg sir, Honorable Mr. Sajdev sir, and our Honorable Chairman sir, Mr. Vipul Garg, for giving all of us such a creative and positive environment and all their support and guidance always. Thank you for inspiring us to lead and do things differently. My sincere gratitude to our dear Principal Ma'am for leading us on this path, encouraging us to experiment and be trailblazers and leaders who can make a positive difference in the society. Thank you, ma'am, for always being there for us and showering us with love. We all love you. Thank you, dear parents, for your constant support and your continued efforts. I'd like to thank you and applaud you for your efforts, tremendous hard work, and the way you maintain that delicate balance between family, children, and work. Let's clap loudly for all the parents and grandparents. You're truly great leaders and heroes of our Goenkans. Thank you for always inspiring and motivating your child to reach higher, dream bigger, and achieve greater. The assurance that you give your child that I am there for you, and the strong bond that you share, the care you provide, and the love you shower on your child. I urge you to continue doing that as you are their role models. And if you continue to inspire them to reach for the stars, they just might bring you back the moon. I request all my Goenkans to join me and clap loudly for all the parents and grandparents and family members watching this presentation. The applause to continue for the parents in school. Yes, you're amazing teachers. Let us applaud for each one of them for their untiring and sincere efforts even during the pandemic, for their hard work, their sense of commitment, and the dedication that they show towards nurturing each and every Goenkan. I'm proud of each and every member of the team. I salute these unsung heroes, the Goenkan educators, who transform lives and create leaders, and that too with so much patience and love. Thank you, Team GDGPS. Proud of you. Thank you to the academic, activity, sports, IT, and editing team for all your efforts. Thank you to the admin team for all their support. Let's hear it for all the staff members of GDGPS 48 and our dear Goenkans. I'd like to specially mention that there are a number of students from classes 6, 7 and 8 and even class 5 who've helped us with all the editing work. A huge round of applause for all the students. Their names will be coming on a slide soon. Yes, you truly deserve this applause. Thank you, dear Goenkans, for standing by the team and working so hard and managing the shows so well. As the saying goes, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. Thank you, parents, teachers, and Goenkans. These presentations would not have been possible without each one of you working hard and working together. Thank you everyone. Have a blessed day ahead. Dear Goenkans, just a message for you. Your teachers shall be posting 2 links in the classroom. One link is for the parents and the other for the Goenkans. You are requested to complete it and send it back to your teachers by Wednesday. All the very best and let the applause go for the Goenkans, my shining stars. Thank you everyone. Thank you once again.
Thank you, respected Shalini ma'am, for guiding us at every step. Our teachers who had shown immense patience throughout our journey. And last but not the least, our dear parents for being with us through this ICLP presentation and encouraging us. Thank you.